Paper Mario is one of those awesome series of games that tons of people love, so it's always one I'm going to talk about when I get the chance. But this time I'm talking about a game that is very clearly inspired by it. Escape From Ever After shows that inspiration almost immediately. The paper cutout style of graphics is very instantly recognizable, and that's not a bad thing, to be honest. I'm a little more surprised we haven't seen this style more than we have. But the inspiration doesn't stop there. The combat system and the way that the game generally plays is also similar, having you do various small bits of platforming to collect items. The combat system itself is an active turn-based system, so that means you'll be trying to time button presses for the correct moments in order to cancel damage or to do additional damage to enemies, and that isn't something that you can necessarily skip over either. At least in the early game, the enemies do a decent amount of damage that can quickly add up, so if you don't hit the button presses enough, your characters will get taken out. But if you're not the button pressing type and you're just not interested in that part of the system, that's okay. There is an option to automatically do the button presses, which is a nice touch, to be honest. If someone wants to just relax and play through the game in a more chill way, it makes sense to at least have the option, so you can do that. That being said, it's not a complete cakewalk to go through. Playing through the game with the button presses still on, you have to be careful about what you decide to do, because the enemies have things like shields that you need to burn with specific characters, or weapons that make it so you can't directly attack enemies without disarming them first. It isn't the most complex combat I've ever seen, but you also can't just spam buttons and expect to live through a combat encounter either, which puts it in a good place, where it takes a bit of strategy, but it's not overly punishing. It does seem to be Sleepy Castle Studios' first game, so I would keep expectations to a reasonable level here. This isn't a studio that has all of the backing of Nintendo to make sure that everything is perfect, but to be honest, I was pretty happy with what I played of the game. They're currently offering a demo, so if it interests you, you can actually play through part of the game right now. It takes place in a world where fairy tales are real, and a company called Ever After Incorporated is able to go into storybooks, and you as the main character Flint are given tasks to enter those books and take care of problems. Obviously, along the way, you of course enlist the aid of fairy tale creatures to do that, including a dragon and the big bad wolf, who doesn't really seem that big or that bad. Your job in the demo is to find out what happened to the famed Sherlock Holmes who has gone missing. That's kind of how the story feels. It's definitely leans more towards the light end of the spectrum, at least at first, so don't expect any sudden horror vibes or anything like that. They're definitely sticking more towards the Paper Mario E for everyone sort of vibe. It has that sort of comedic tone propped up by absurdity and a bit of wit, which is something I didn't realize that I desperately need right now. Sometimes it's just fun to drop the heavy themes, random killing and all that stuff, and just jump into a game that gives you some nice laughs and a fun time. I think that's really where Escape From Ever After shines. It's one of those games that brings you in with nostalgia, but does the delivery well, so you really get sucked in the world. I can't speak to whether the entire game will be great, but at least the bit that I've played in this demo so far has me interested in picking up down the road whenever it comes out. Curious to hear what other people think about the game, so let me know in the comments. I do videos on RPGs of all kinds, so if you love them like I do, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.